Donovan, you seem to be laboring just a little bit at the end of game one. How are you physically going into game two?
I'm excited, man. I'm good. The crowd's gonna be lit. You know, we gotta take care of home court.
So how are you physically going?
I'm good. I'm excited. It's gonna be a good game tonight. I'm excited.
Donovan, with obviously 3 of your teammates questionable, just what's the mindset on you guys, you know, dealing with those injuries, whether those guys can play or not? What are you telling guys as a leader of the team?
The biggest thing is we gotta stay ready. We've done it all year. Obviously, you know, if they don't play, you know, you're losing a lot of points, a lot of defense, a lot of talent. If they do, we're right back to where we were. But for us, just continue to stay ready. We have faith in everybody in this locker room. We've done it all year. So the biggest thing is just be ready. I always tell guys, prepare for the work. Prepare that they're not playing, so you're mentally locked in and sharp. And if they do, then that's an added bonus. That's how we are locked in for it. And I don't really know how they're actually doing, but you know, I'm always prepared for the worst and just getting ready. But we have a group that's ready to go. We're ready to go.
You said you were going to look back at your shots from game one, and just kind of whether you like your decision making or not. What did you think when reviewing the film? And if you guys are shorthanded, because kind of what's the balance? You obviously want to do more versus.
Yeah, I wasn't really upset with, you know, I think a lot of it. I mean, the half court heaves don't help, but no, like. A lot of it is, you know, I miss some shots I make. You know, if I really want to break it down, I missed an easy layup and then I dropped the ball. That's a shot attempt. That's 2. Like, if you really want to break it down, which is why I end up doing it. So it's you know, nothing to really, you know, overthink. Just keep being aggressive. Keep making plays. If that calls for me shooting, that calls for me shooting. That calls for me passing, calls for me passing. But I felt that when I was talking to y'all. But now watching the film, I feel the same way. I'm not upset about it. Understand that you got to do whatever it takes and try to be aggressive. And then, like I said, miss some shots that I typically make too.
Donovan, when you guys have struggled defensively this year, and in part to over-helping on the defensive end, how do you prevent that, and what is it mentally that you have to switch up in game two?
I think our intensity. You know, I think we, you know, it was really easy for them to go side to side. And granted, they play fast, and you got to give them credit for sure. But I think our physicality, our intensity, you know, ultimately changes things as well. And I think that's the biggest thing for us. Trying to be physical, trying to set the tone, but you got to give them credit as well at their pace and they're continuing to move freely. But you know, that wasn't what we were able to do. Obviously, the different team, different series. But for the first 4 games of the playoffs, we were physical. We were trying to, you know, different things. So just trying to, you know, up that and be ready to go.
Where do you need that physicality to show the most?
On the defensive end, like, you know, on ball screens, you know, pressure on the ball. Like we saw it in the third. Like, you know, you saw it in spurts. I think for us, just continuing to do it and starting off that way. That's really what it is, and that's really what, you know, when you look back at it, that's what, you know, is upsetting the most, because we've been that team throughout the whole season. So just kind of slippage in that regard, but we'll be ready to go.
How did their pace feel to you on the court versus like what you were preparing for behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to prepare for that pace. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to, you know, replicate that in practice. You know, I think obviously going through again the feel for it is obviously good. And, you know, like I said, they're unique. They're the only team that really runs up there in the playoffs. So for us, just kind of, like I said, hammering down on our principles. You know, not so much just trying to adjust to what they do. But like I said, I always give a team credit, you know, for coming in and sticking to what they do and doing it at a high level, and we'll be ready for it.
Donovan, you guys had that 20-4 run in the second half the other night. It was such a great stretch of basketball that you played. How do you do that now for 4 quarters against that team?
Just be mentally, you know, ready for war, like for to be tired, to be banged up, to be all those different things. And it was great to see that, because you had something to compare to the first half to. I think that's something that we can use, whether it's getting out on misses, pushing the pace, setting screens, getting downhill. And then even still in that run, we missed some shots, some good looks too in that. So understand that, keep taking our shots, keep doing what we do, keep getting downhill, and then our defensive intensity rose as well.
I know you guys are focused on yourselves, but just to look around and see, you know, Boston losing last night, OKC losing last night. What's kind of the internal conversation like surrounding that? You know?
We all suck.
Does it relieve any pressure in a way? Like, you don't have to be perfect.
I mean, I think I think for us, we were, you know, I'm not gonna. It's easy to sit here and say, yeah, we're focused on ourselves, but we see it, you know what I mean. But also, even after the loss yesterday, I didn't feel like guys were hanging their head or even like, you know, I understand it's gonna be a series. I told y'all like we weren't going 16-0 in the playoffs. Like, you know what I'm saying? We were gonna lose at some point. Like, you know, it's just how do we respond to that? But you know, it's kind of one of those things where maybe to the average fan is like, oh, freaking out, all the Cavs lost. Well, I mean, it happens. This is the playoffs. You know, now like I said, it's really hard to go 16-0 throughout the playoffs. But for us, as far as internally, I think it's more so like understanding that we knew that this was going to be a tough team to beat, and we just got to be ready and locked in. But I think for the outside world, I think us three losing, I think is definitely something that people are like, oh, yeah. But like for us internally, we're good and we're ready for game two.
Especially with the bodies being down, how beneficial is it that you guys are able to play like different styles in the way that you did this year? It wasn't just like kind of one-trick pony type of deal.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things, and I want to give Kenny his credit for obviously winning Coach of the Year. Like, he got that award because he, you know, took our team. You know, obviously we were a 48 win team, but like for us to change styles, I want to say drastically, and then also to be able to disperse it through different people every night, you know what I mean? And tonight's going to be somebody different, tomorrow, next game will be somebody different. Like, it's so unpredictable every night, and I think that's what makes our group special. And like you said, if guys are out, that shows up even more in these scenarios. So we're excited, we're ready for tonight.
You guys had 70 points in the paint. Is that an area you can exploit moving forward?
Yeah, I think when you look at the film, just being able to get downhill and just, you know, create indecisions. And then when you get in there, finishing your shots. Like, I miss some easy ones. Like, you know what I mean, just from watching, it's like, man, like you got to capitalize, because if you don't, they're gone. You know what I mean? And sometimes that missed two turns into a three for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So definitely trying to attack and just be aggressive. And whether that's getting into the paint, scoring, throwing the lob, creating, you know, closeout situations, that's going to be key.
Can you use the word
the
just
last question?
playing with force? Is that more than physicality? Is there a difference between
Yeah, I think
force
it's just
and
a
physicality?
level of urgency. I think the last time I remember him talking about that was probably the Clipper game. I remember the Clipper game, we were kind of going through our little spell or whatever. And you felt it right away. And I think that's what we saw. And we had done it really for the 4 games against Miami. I think game 1 was just different. We didn't come out that way, and that's on us. We look ourselves in the mirror and come back and be ready for that.